Before we get into this week's developer Q&A, there is a very quick point that I need to address regarding the video I put out earlier this week on the biggest problem in EVE Echoes. Basically, the problem I was trying to point out is the fact that the game is ludicrously hostile to new players. There is nothing for new players until basically they hit Tech 10, which is a significant amount of payment and a significant wait time away from them. This is one of those things that you just cannot get around in the game. I had a lot of people suggesting that, oh, well, maybe the community can come together. The community cannot physically come together on this because we've done it in Catskull hundreds of times where some new player has joined the game, we've supported them in every way we can, but they still feel like they can't do what we are doing. They can't join in and actually properly contribute because they can't fly the ships that they want to fly. They can't fly the ships that all the content is based on. And a lot of other people pointed out that, oh, well, there's a lot of new systems for newer players that weren't there when we were going through the tech system, like exploration, nihilist dead spaces, faction war games, and yeah, I'd agree, we didn't have those going through, but we were all equal tech level, or at least close to each other, whilst we were climbing. The problem I see with that is that every single one of those new systems, in inverted commas, the nihilist dead spaces, the original PvP encounter system, exploration, and even faction war games were all brilliant starts to a system, and it's almost like NetEase looked at that and said, well, we haven't got a direct way to monetize this, so let's focus on capital ships, nanocores, and implants, and we'll push things like dormant realms, because that way we can force people to make those purchases. And yes, I got a ton of people sitting there saying, oh, well, I bought my capital and I sold my capital to people who, had bought it through just ISK grinding. And yeah, awesome, but you can only do that at tech level 10, and it still doesn't change the fact that the entire game is currently based around pushing people into those capitals in order to get more purchases out of them. If you are in a capital and you want a good nanocore, can you grind for that in-game? If you want to get an implant all the way up to gold and fully max leveled, yeah, you can technically do that in the game, but I don't think anyone seriously has without any form of payments. It's just a ridiculous situation, and I feel like a lot of people just completely missed the point on that video. Why am I mentioning this in a DQA? Because the 3 questions we're about to go through kind of reinforce a lot of that with some interesting sides as well. So, without further ado, I've rambled long enough, let's jump right in. Question number 1. It'll be nice if we can get skins, animation, and colourful lighting for Capsuleer Outpost and Corporation Citadel, so we can make our soft system beautiful and can compete with others. Mike responds, having skins for Personal Outpost and Corporation Citadel is already on our roadmap, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on what kind of skins you'd like to see. This has been on the roadmap for 2 years now. Literally, when Capsuleer Outposts were first introduced, people were asking this question, and it was in dev Q&As back then as well. 2 years and they haven't bothered doing anything with it, but now NetEase, I think, are realizing, hang on a second, we've got all these nanocores and implants that work for the big ships that we're pushing people into. Wouldn't it be nice if we could do a similar thing for the stations? So fully expect to see that this will get added soon. I genuinely think that the skins for outposts and citadels are coming, but I guarantee they will be almost exclusively to big payments, and they will probably have a load of really cool pay-to-win stuff as well. They will basically be nanocores, not just skins. I can almost guarantee that, but you heard it here first. Question number 2. Will there be a new skill from the combat aspect or ISK making? It will be really cool if there were new skills, new combat countering, and a new ISK making method that couldn't be played AFK. Yeah, I really agree with that, but that requires still a massive overhaul of so many things. Mike responds, yes, we'll introduce new skills for the combat aspect. However, regarding the ISK making skills, we need to evaluate and test them more critically because it involves the economic system. Stay tuned. What we really need in regards to skills right now is new missile skills. The fact is that missiles are absolutely awful. I've done entire videos on this, but the basic problem with them is that we have the same missile application stats as EVE Online, with 2 notable differences. Difference number 1 is that all of our ships are smaller and faster, which means missiles are just inherently worse to begin with, and secondly, we have no skills that truly benefit application. We don't have things that properly sort out the whole explosion velocity, explosion radius thing, just a few minor bits here and there, whereas EVE Online has some skills where you can aggressively fix that application. So we've got missiles that are just not as good as basic because they're going up against ships that they don't apply as well to, and then we also don't have the skills that would actually assist them with that. That's kind of the skills that we need to have first. I'd also, again, guarantee, sorry, Benzie the Prophet today I think we've got out from my little shelf, the new skills for combat, that's going to be Titan skills. You watch, it's going to be Titan skills. I don't think this is going to be those skills that we're asking for, like the missile application ones. I think this is just going to be, oh, we're adding new ships, therefore here are the new skills for flying those new ships. And that is basically going to be it at this point. The whole thing of new combat countering, yeah, I agree, that would be lovely. We, as I said earlier in this video, we have the skeletal framework of a full-on PvE encounter system. Look at the agency missions in EVE Online and how they compare to our encounter ratting, our news encounters in EVE Echoes. They're barely even comparable. EVE Online has full stories, you have missions that are go to Area A, kill everything, come back. You have missions that are go to Area A, shoot past all of the enemies and blow up this station. We have ones that are shoot past the enemies, grab the guys from here, rescue the hostages, and then fly them off to somewhere else and survive an ambush. They have missions like, oh, Concord wants this guy brought in alive, so you have to blast past the enemies, find the boss, and hold him in position whilst the timer counts down for Concord to come in. Wouldn't that be amazing? EVE Echoes has the start of that system, but they never bothered to expand upon it. Nihilist Dead Spaces could be like Abyssal Dead Spaces, but again, they kind of started it and then never did anything with it. Exploration, it's not combat, but it's an entire system that they added, they got the basic framework in, and then they just never bothered to go back and actually finish it. Same with Faction Wargames, which is combat. They started it, had an interesting start, and then just did nothing with it because they could not directly monetize it, therefore they're pushing people into the things that they can directly monetize. I don't know. I don't think we're going to see any change to industry anytime soon. There's a lot of people chattering now that April is coming, what's going to happen in the balance patch. I don't necessarily even believe we're going to get a balance patch. It's not on the Trello and the devs haven't mentioned anything about it, and they're normally pretty open that yeah, this is coming because they know it's something that the Western community wants to actually see in the game. Also, when we look back on it, I had a guy on Reddit the other day asking, yeah, but if I skill into large lasers now, is that all going to change in April if there is a balance patch? And the simple answer is no, we've never had a balance patch that actually, really shakes up the meta and changes things. So I don't foresee that happening. I don't see industry getting a major overhaul that it needs because there are so many complex little bits and pieces that NetEase would have to do, and that would take time and money, development time and money, away from the things that make them big income. I don't think we're going to get much in the way of new combat other than, when Titans are added, we get a Titan DIR and stuff like that. We'll get new anomalies to wrap for Titan loot, we'll get new anomalies that the Titans can fight in, but that's basically it. Anyway, let's move on then to question number 3, the third and final question this week. Exploration, huzzah, and Concord Pass are both time-consuming activities. This often leads to exploration players being forced to choose between them. Would it be possible to add exploration activities to Concord Pass missions? It could be something like analyze X signals, decrypt X boxes. It would greatly improve the quality of life for Explo players. And yeah, I kind of agree, and this is something, again, that has been in probably about 4 or 5 dev Q&As right now, and it's always the same answer. We're looking into it. Mike here says, this is a reasonable suggestion that can be adopted. In the upcoming Concord Pass, we will add some new exploration activities as missions, so we can enrich the gameplay of Concord Pass and give the exploration players a more efficient and convenient experience. There's a lot of buzzwords in there, but again, sorry, it's all bullshit. I really want to like this. Exploration is by far my preferred thing in the game. It's what I want to be doing more of. Ultimately, exploration activities added to the Concord Pass, that's cool. I can't deny that. I'm happy about that. A way to complete the Concord Pass whilst going out exploring other than using the PI system, which is feels just like gaming at this point, like gaming the system at this point, or the login for 15 and 30 minutes, which just takes days to get anywhere. That said, enrich the gameplay of Concord Pass. You're not really enriching the gameplay of Concord Pass, you're just giving new options to go through it, and give the exploration players a more efficient and convenient experience. exploration is still going to be in a major bad place. We still don't have the hacking minigame, and there's no sign of ever getting that. So it's fly to system, scan, move to next system, scan, move to next system, scan, move to next system, scan. Oh, look, I found an anomaly. Let's warp into it. Let's decrypt the boxes, which is press a button and orbit, and then just wait and roll the dice, and hopefully my level 1 box doesn't explode, despite me being fully skilled 555 and flying an Astero. There's too much RNG in exploration right now, and it is too random whether or not you even find the sites. Like, there is so much wrong with exploration. I've done entire videos on that. Yeah, this is nice that you can now actually do the Concord Pass with it, but it still doesn't really make exploration viable or fun, which is kind of the key point here. But again, are they going to make exploration viable or fun? What big payments can you make as an explorer? You're not really buying the big nano cores, are you? Because they're frigate nano cores. You're not really paying for things like implants even, because those don't exist. Like, people have joked about this in the past, and I've gone, nah, they'd never do that. I'm genuinely of the opinion that at this point in time, they're going to start adding new exploration sites that require a hacking minigame, but you're actually going to have to buy the module off the Aurum store or something like. God knows. God alone knows at this point, and I hate the fact that me, of all people, someone who prides on trying to be positive, just has come to this point now. And I get that a lot of you are like, well, Benzie, you know, we used to watch you for your positivity and you're just losing it. Yeah, because I really want this game to be so much more than the developers apparently ever want it to be. I've seen what this game could be. I've seen the start that it had, and there were so many good things, so many amazing things added and started and just never completed. I don't know. I'm still sticking around. I'm still here. I'm still going to be making content. But, geez, come on, devs. Give us something that isn't just, oh, hey, yeah, here's a cool thing you can do, but pay for it. Pay for it. Like, gone are the days when the $15 monthly subscription was enough. Heck, $5 monthly subscription was the only necessary thing, but that was what they promised to us. In the run-up to launch, they promised that it would only ever be cosmetic stuff that they were paying, and that the Omega subscription would be enough. They broke that promise along with pretty much every other promise they've ever made, so I have very little trust left. Anyway, folks, I wish I could be more positive on this one. Yeah, I think it's cool to see Outpost Citadels getting skins, but you know they're going to be paid only. I think the new combat skills could be useful, but they're not going to be the ones we need. They're just going to be ones for bigger ships that we don't need. And when it comes to exploration and the Concord Pass, that is a nice change. I can't lie, that's a nice positive change, but it doesn't really do anything to exploration. There's no sign of exploration actually getting the love that I personally believe it so deserves. But those are my thoughts and opinions. I'm usually wrong according to a significant portion of those of you who watch this, so I would love to hear exactly how I'm wrong in this week's video in the comment section down below. And honestly, if you, like, you know, spend time typing out an essay telling me why I'm wrong about these things, you pretty much deserve to hit like on the video. You owe me that much, at least. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching, happy sailing, and see you in New Eden!